gotta find the hole, you guys. We usually don't have problems finding the hole. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. You know what I'm doing, right? You guys know what, you guys already know by the title of this video what we're about to do. That's right, first start, baby. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But we had to go get gas, of course, because totally forgot we didn't have gas. So we got to fill this thing up real quick. Hopefully, no issues, right? Because first starts are always a pain in the butt. As a matter of fact, I'm lying to you guys. We already have a problem. I'm going to show you guys in a bit. We put some fuel in this thing. All right, you guys. Fuel is in. We got oil in this thing. We finally got the intake hooked. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll show you guys in a bit. But we had an issue already. So what I did earlier is I went to try to crank this thing just to make sure everything was kicking on as far as the motor goes and the starter, of course. And sure enough, it was not. And obviously we did this, I pulled the fuel relay out just to make sure there was no fuel or anything coming in there. But I'm going to show you guys here in a sec. But let me show you this intake. Check that bad boy out, you guys. We've been working on this thing, of course. Again, we had that 3D printed one. We sent it out to my buddy. He hooked this up. He made us this guy. Obviously, it's out of aluminum. And then we were trying to figure out how to get it to work with this, the actual filter part. Came up with this. It's just another coupler right here with another 45-degree angle. But I still got to make some adjustments to the actual housing itself. I should say the shield itself. So it's not all the way 100 ready to go, but it is good enough for testing, at least to see if this thing will start up, because we had to have our mass airflow sensor hooked up as well. So that's good to go. But let me show you guys what I'm talking about when it comes to the actual starter issue. Almost forgot to show you that, huh? Look at that bad boy right there. Brand new seats from TMI. We got that one in there just so we have somewhere to sit. We don't have the other one in yet because we still got to do the carpet in this thing. We're probably going to end up setting it out. But let me show you what I'm talking about when it comes to here. Oh, did I show you guys the new steering wheel too? That's in. All our goodies are starting to come together. But what I was doing is I was actually setting up the gauges just to make sure everything was reading off the ECU before we started so we can check oil pressure and things like that. But I noticed it wasn't cranking, and I can hear the relay clicking over and everything. And as soon as I don't hear any crank at all, I got to make sure the starter is getting power, right? And what happens is on these center console deals here on these Chevelles, park neutral safety switch, we wired it up just like it would have been from the factory. We wanted to make sure that was integrated, but the park neutral safety switch looks like it's failed us. And got my meter out, started testing, did an ohm test on it, and sure enough, when this thing's in park or in any gear, that guy is not, basically it's not creating the loop, the circuit, it's not completing the circuit to allow power to the starter wire. So what we got here, we got this little bad boy right there. Basically, it's bypassing the starter circuit. So that way you got power coming in from the ignition system and then power going back out towards the starter. So all we did is just bypass it for now. I'm going to have to order a new park neutral safety switch because, again, that guy looks like it's not working. But as soon as we did that, we had crank. So definitely that is the problem. So be wary, you guys, if your cars don't start for some reason, always check that first, especially if there's like absolutely no crank at the starter and you know the starter is good or new. But I think we can try to get a first start, but as a matter of fact, I got to put the fuel pump relay in first. Let's see what happens. Come on, baby. What's going on? Heard the fuel pump come on, I think. Let's see. Our battery's kind of low. But also it could be the fuel not getting up to the fuel rail yet. Matter of fact, let me check for leaks. Give me 1 sec. Okay. Good news is no leaks. That's a good sign. Bad news is my battery is definitely low. I'm only reading 9 volts at the battery right now. Could be because we had the doors open the other day for a long time, wiring up the speakers for this thing, getting everything dialed in as far as that goes. So I think we're definitely going to have to put a charger on it. But let's try it again. Maybe it'll kick up. I don't know. But it might not have enough volts in there for the ignition system. So come on, baby. No go. Can never be easy, right? Can never be that easy, right? So then we're gonna throw a charger on it. Oh, I smell like gas now, you guys. So what I did is I make sure we had fuel at the fuel rail, so we're good there. We're definitely getting fuel pressure. I got the battery charger in it now, but I don't know if it's enough. We're gonna try it, but it's only been on there maybe 20 minutes, but we're gonna try it. Hopefully we got enough juice with that. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. Negative. Still at 9 volts. Went right back down to 9 volts. Negative. Alright, we're gonna let it charge.
Many unbearable hours later.
Man, it's freaking cold out, you guys. The weather just drops out here like that. It's crazy. How cold is it where you guys are at? Definitely want to know that, because I'm probably just being a wimp. I just don't like the cold. It sucks. But it is the next day. It's about almost 24 hours later, because that battery was like dead. We threw the trickle charger on it, so hopefully we got some juice. Hopefully that's all the issue it is. That's not why it's not starting right. So let's try it. Come on. Come on, baby. Fuel pump kicked on. Come on, baby. That's not good. That's not good. It should have started for sure. I think it definitely should have started. We got fuel. We got power. Only thing is spark is left. It's the only thing I can think of. Son of a gun. All right, back to square one. Well, you guys, just as I suspected, no spark. I confirmed there's definitely no spark, and it's definitely, I think it's coming from the ignition coils. It honestly seems like we have a bad batch of ignition coils. These are definitely not name brand, and I'll show you what's going on. So I ended up having to pull these valve covers off and everything and make sure we had power at the harness, and even make sure we had power all across the coils, each individual one, and on both sides. I checked it. I was hoping it was just one side, and it seems to be all of them. Like, these coil packs are garbage. And what I did is I actually got this little guy. I don't know if you've ever seen this guy here. While cranking, you put this, basically, it's got a sensor on that side here, and you touch it to the coil pack. And this little guy here will have like a red light that flashes every time that coil pack basically sparks, and provides that spark to that spark plug, and nothing. And the reason I know that this thing's working, that I have these other coil packs here, and this, mind you, these are actually the ones that came with the motor, but I couldn't use them because the valve cover. The valve cover does not prohibit these coil packs. These ones here, these were designed around the Blueprint engine valve covers, and you can't use them on this valve cover because you have the top piece that goes off and it closes it. Basically, they basically weren't going to mount up. So I swapped them out. I got these guys, and clearly I have a crappy set of coil packs. So what I did is I hooked this guy up. Not only that, this harness is a little bit different. This connector is one of the newer style connectors versus that guy there. And I was hoping maybe just the harness, but again, I have power at the harness, and there's absolutely nothing coming out of it. At least I should say I are still with power at the harness. They're still not providing any spark. And definitely we have power at the power wire each specific coil pack. So I don't think it's the harness. I think it's the actual coil packs. So what I did is I plugged in this guy with a different harness, just sat it on top, cranked it. I had my daughter help me. She was cranking it as I was testing it. So I just sat it up here, took my little one guy here, did that. And sure enough, I was getting a flashing strobe here every time that guy sparked. So I think those guys are corporate right there. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to order another set, order basically spend some money and get a good set and make sure that this is not an issue.